All right, we're here with the Fort Lauderdale trio of Coach Richard Dunbar, linebacker Dallas Jeanty, defensive end Jaquwan Nelson. Coach, we'll start with you first. You guys ended that big playoff drought that you had at Fort Lauderdale last season. So now, how much does that motivate the team to just keep it going coming into this next year and do it again?
Well, it's not the fact that we lost the game; it's the way we lost it. We knew at the end of the season or at the end of the game, we did not play our best game. I think the guys were overwhelmed with just being there, making it. And now the focus is one game at a time, because we know what we can do if we just take care of each individual team leading up to that moment.
And how much better are you guys this year, just having that experience under your belt from last season and looking to improve on it, get even better?
It's funny you asked that, because as a coaching staff yesterday, we all looked at each other at the conclusion of practice and just said that we're 3 steps ahead of where we were last summer, and now with the guys being more of a family and just buying into what we have to offer as a coaching staff is making it so much easier. But most importantly, the guys want it just as much as we do.
Talk about these 2 young men that you have next to you, what they bring to the table. We'll start with Dallas.
Other than the fact that both of them are ugly, Dallas is a blessing, so to speak. I don't want to over-embellish the whatever, but he's a blessing to have. He's working hard. He's learning, how to become a leader or a servant, as I say, to our program, and what he has to bring to the table academically, and his life examples obviously is gonna set us apart, from other teams, As far as Jaquan, he's a 4-year guy. He's been on varsity for 4 years. He's been through the major ups and downs, and all the turnarounds in the program. And, just to see him smile, and Kevin Thomas smile, and, Dallas smile because of what we're doing right now, it's just refreshing and knowing that, we're on our way.
Dallas, now you're in year 2 at Fort Lauderdale. You were at Aquinas before that. So how do you feel you're kind of taking on more of a leadership role this year, especially as a senior?
Yeah, it's something I was talking to Coach about. It's like you got to learn how to just be a man at the end of the day. Because when you're leading a team, especially with full of so many individuals and this type of sport, a bunch of alpha males, you gotta learn how to be diplomatic about certain things. You can't be hypocritical, and you just gotta step up to the plate and do, play your 111, because if we each play our 111, then we're playing 11 out of 11. That's 100%. I'll take that any day.
Talk about the style of play that you play with at linebacker, and also I hear you might be playing some defensive end a little bit.
Yeah, well, for a lot of we believe in Iron Man football, so doing a little everything. Just got to do what we got to do to win.
Yes.
You might see me at guard on some pulling plays.
Okay.
But, really, I feel like I just bring aggression to the table. Even Coach always said, sometimes I won't be headed the right direction, but I'll be headed the wrong direction a million miles an hour. So at the end of the day, I bring aggression to. I feel both me and Quan and I bring a lot of aggression to the game, and we kind of leave our hearts on the field at the end of the day. So, when I play every game, you can lose it all in 6 seconds. I want to know that at the end of the day, if I go out, I want to go out champion.
And you had a bunch of offers earlier this summer. You ended up committing to Wisconsin.
Yes,
but just a few days after they offered, what kind of turned you on to them and just made you decide that's the team for you so quickly?
For me, I wanted a school that provided both. That I wanted the academic side as well. It supported both me and Quan. And we're both going to top universities, and Coach always preaches education. Fort Lauderdale with a smart school. Our guys, our team GPA is astronomical. All of our starters are a little bit higher than 3.0s. So it's kind of we believe in life after football as well. So I wanted to chase that dream, be the best player I could be, and then for that time when football does end, because it does end for everyone, I would have a degree where I could translate to the real world without too much of a problem.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the academics and how important they are for you. Just talk about, you have a stellar GPA, SAT. Tell us what those are and what your plans are for the future, beyond football.
Well, I got a 29 ACT, 1920 SAT, and I think my current GPA went down a little bit to a 3.6. And basically, I want to be the best man that I can be. The more I think about it, if you're a good man, it'll translate everywhere. As a good football player, if you're a good man, you have the work ethic, to play good football, and you'll have the character to be a good dad and husband, So I think at the end of the day, the more Coach preaches to me, I got an emphasis of being a good man, and that'll translate everywhere else. Even in terms of going into the workforce, people want to work with good people. So it doesn't matter how smart you are or how much you may know. If you're not that fun guy to be around, no one really. So it's like those things. After I play football, I'm thinking about kind of getting into the business world a little bit, or maybe coaching. I know that either way, when I do retire, I want to come back to Fort Lauderdale to coach, and then hopefully, I gotta see how my finances are set up. I want to get us an indoor. I want to be the only high school in Broward County with an indoor. New jerseys.
I like it.
Chrome helmets. All right, that's the game plan.
Looking for big things for Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, Coach.
Check out Fort Lauderdale in 20 years.
Coach, he's coming for your job.
You know what? Hey, any one of my guys, if they coming forward, I'll be glad to step aside and let them take over, because obviously they were there when we were down, when we had to lay the foundation and put the walls and put the roof on, and so if they want to come back and say, hey, Coach, it's your time, just chill, all right, I get to chill and watch them do their thing. That means I did something correctly, as far as motivating them and like Dal said, preaching to them how to, character is most important in becoming a man, but like he kind of touched on, our motto at Fort Lauderdale is not about the next 4 to 5 years, it's about the next 40 to 50 years of your life, and that's what we believe in, we stand on.
Yeah. Let's talk to Jaquwan for a second. Jaquwan, you got that UM offer earlier, you decided to commit. How'd you feel when you got that offer from such a prestigious institution?
It felt good. It's something I always wanted. Growing up as a kid, I've been a big fan, so it's something I'm proud of.
Yeah, and you previously told me your commitment was kind of like at 90%. Have you got it up to 100?
It's 100.
It's 100? Yeah, solid, yeah. And there's just a full class committed, a lot of defensive ends too. So what do you look at when you look at the class as a whole?
I look at the class that come in to do something, make a change. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's that swag 16 class. And so we know Dallas might be playing some defensive end along with you. How dangerous can that be, both of you coming off opposite edges?
It's very dangerous.
Yeah. Give us fits.
It gives our DBs and linebackers a break. It helps.
Okay. I want to ask Coach one last question, though. Who are some of the other guys that are really expected to contribute? I know you mentioned Kevin Thomas. Who else?
Dwayne Smith.
Yeah.
Was a guy that no one really even knows about or even care to talk about. But he's very vital to our defense and secondary. Junior DeMillion, our top returning receiver. A lot of people. I know we had James Gardner. The last 3-4 years, but really Junior led the team last year as the receiver, and it's good to have him back, as well. And then obviously Torrey Young, he's just a junior, but he anchors our offensive line, and he's a 3-year starter on varsity, and to have him at that center position for us is very, very big, because he's key. He knows the game. He knows what I like as a coach. As what our offensive line coach like. He can make those calls. And then the up and coming corner is Doobie. Key one, Doobie Callaway. Watch out for him. He's another kid. It's a 2017 kid that he didn't get scored on last year, and he didn't get very many passes caught on him last year. So so we're very high on our defense. And right now offensively we're coming. We're well on our way.